Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm gonna talk about dimensions. Although this video is divided into two parts, in this part I will discuss only 4 dimensions and the remaining dimensions will be discussed in the next part of this video. So without any further delay, let's start the video. Let's first talk about what is dimension. The dimension is the perspective to see the object, or dimension of an object is the measure of its size. Dimensions also tell us in how many directions are we able to move. For example, you are walking in a narrow alley. In that alley you have only 2 directions to move, which are straight and reverse. Means you can walk only in straight 3-dimensional world, or on earth we are able to move in 6 directions. But what about an outer space? Beyond these 3 dimensions, scientists believe that there must be more dimension in the universe. Let's talk about it one by one. Zero dimension or nil dimension is the space in which no direction exists. To illustrate it, suppose you are playing with a ball and you accidentally stuck the ball in a pipe. You tried but the ball not came out. In this case, the ball cannot be able to move in any direction because it's stuck. It is the easiest picture of zero dimension, but the actual zero dimension is different. Because in zero dimension, an object have its location but doesn't have size. Means in zero dimension, an object neither have its size nor any directions to move. A point is an example of zero dimension. In zero dimension, a point is considered as infinitely small object. In first dimension, an object have its location as well as its size. In mathematics and physics, dimensions are studied in the form of coordinates x, y and z axis. However, in first dimension, only one of the 3 coordinates required to specify any point in it, and that is x-axis. A line is an example of first dimension, which forms when 2 points are connect together. In first dimensional world, only 2 directions are possible, which are straight and reverse. There is no such direction as left or right. Any flat object such as circle, square is considered as 2-dimensional object. 2D objects are studied in x and y axis, since we need 2 coordinates to specify any point in it, or we just need length and breadth of that object. In 2-dimensional world, there exist 4 directions, which are straight, reverse, left and right. If a person is living in 2-dimensional world, then his brain can interpret only flat object. If you put a 3-dimensional object such as a sphere in front of him, what he will see is just a circle, because the shadow or projection of 3-dimensional object is 2-dimensional. We humans used to live in a 3-dimensional world, means we can move in 6 directions, which are straight, reverse, left, right, invert and outward. Third dimension is studying in x, y and z axis. Because to specify any point we need length, breadth and depth. Cube, sphere, cylinder are the example of third dimensional object, because these objects contain volume. Our earth is also considered as 3-dimensional object, a sphere rather than any flat object. 4-dimension, things start getting complicated, because in 4th dimension there exists another dimension, which is the dimension of time. Our earth and us are limited to 3rd dimension, but beyond earth there exists more dimension, which our brain can't interpret. The 4th dimension is believed to be the dimension of time. According to relativity, time is relative, which means time does not flow at equal rate for everyone. There is always a little gap in it, and that gap is known as time dilation. On Earth, time dilation is usually neglected, because on Earth, no object can move near the speed of light. But in space, time cannot be ignored. That's why the distance is measured in light years in space. To study 4th dimension, we use 2D graphs of space and time, in which x-axis represents space and y-axis represents time. Because space and times always exist together and form space-time continuum. In 4D dimension, every event is studying in form of space-time. Before Einstein, it was believed that time flows at equal rate for everyone, no matter where do they go. And space and times are two different entities. But now we know that space and time is same entity. And the idea of space-time solves many mysteries of the universe. It explains gravity, introduces to gravitational waves, gravitational lensing, and many more phenomena. The fourth dimension is very different from our third dimensional world. A creature that is living in 4D world can go to the past and future, but that's impossible for us because for us the time flows only in forward direction. Scientists have predicted some object that can exist in 4 dimensions. Let's talk about it. A hypercube or tesseract is a 4D analog of the cube. Before we study tesseract, let's first look at the cube. A cube is a structure that forms when 6 squares are folded or when the 2 squares are connected via its edges. Similarly, a tesseract is formed when 2 cubes are connected by its edges or 8 cubes are folded, as you can see in this video. There is one special thing about tesseract, which is that it can change its size with time. Klein's bottle is another example of 4-dimensional object. It is a closed surface with only one side, which is formed by passing one end of the tube through the side of the tube and joining it to the other end. This is what a Klein's bottle looks like. It is a 2D representation of Klein's bottle. In this image, it can be clearly seen that the tube is penetrating through it. But that's not possible in the real Klein's bottle. It is only possible when it is embedded in higher dimensions. So that's it for today's video, and I haven't discussed the geometry of third dimension and 4-dimensional object. If you want a special video on that topic, then let me know in the comment. So with that saying, see you in the next part.